Okay, so I closed Visual Studio, opened it again, and now this is recognizing the quiz timer. Save everything. We are good. Let's go to this quiz timer. In here, we need total time. What is the total time? So for that, we will get it from outside. That means from the consumer of this component. That means from this quiz.razor page. So here we can say prop int and total time in minutes, of course. Or let's say total minutes. We'll say this. This is going to be parameter and we need this. So this is editor required. Okay, then we'll say override on initialized. Here we don't need any third party call, or not third party, not API call. So we don't need on initialized async method, or we'll see. So on initialized, we are here right now. First thing we'll do, we'll simply have a label. We'll see how we are changing this text and all. But here we'll simply say, how should we do this? We have that minute and seconds kind of thing. Let's say 01 colon 59 out of that 500, something like this. Yeah, maybe we need something like this. So this is the current time, this is total time. So here total minutes, we'll have private string underscore total time. Default value is empty string. Inside this on initialized, we'll say total time equals this total minutes dot to string dot, we will use pad left. We want it to show like 05, so 2 digits. So if it is already 2 digit, it will not do anything. If it is not, it will. This pad left, we have total width 2 comma padding character, we need 0 to be prepended if this is not 2 characters long. That means if this is 5, it will add 0, it will have 05. If it is let's say 15, then it will not do anything. So we have this total minutes, and after this, let me have this in this format. So we'll have colon and then 00 here, because we know we are having this total time in minutes format. So these are minutes. Save it, and now we are good with total time. Here let's have this duplicate of this label. We'll have this total time displayed like this. Now this is the current time display, right? So we'll say private, or let's say change this total time to total time display, something like this. Total time or total display time, something like this. Then we are going to have private string underscore current display time. Okay, default value, let's have 0 0 current display like this. We are going to have this inside a span. Maybe we want to change the color of this current display time. It comes to some range. Maybe when it is uh, something like there is only 1 minute left, something like this, so it will turn to red, something like this. I have seen it somewhere, this kind of UI. So we'll try to implement this thing here. Now we need to uh, change this current display time on each and every second. So for this, we need something here, and that something is going to be a timer. Now for timers, we have two options. There is one timer class, which comes from system.threading.timer. Then we have another option that will be periodic timer. So we have these two options. Both of these are timers but works differently. Now we need to decide which one we want to use. If we use timer, then we are sure it will work on an interval of 1 second, or not 1 second, we'll define actually. So we'll say timer equals new timer. And here if we see, we have this timer callback, which can be anything. After that we will have object state, it could be anything. After that we have the due time, then we have this period. Due time is when should it or let's say the initial gap, when should it start. If we set 0, it will immediately start without any delay. And if we say some time span dot from minute or from seconds 1, it will start after 1 second, or it will start after 10 seconds, like this. Then we have last one, which is period. Okay, so here we need to define the time interval. If we define here time span dot from seconds 1, so this is time spent to int due time. So amount of time to delay before callback is invoked in milliseconds. If we want to have 10 seconds, then we can say 10 seconds, and this is going to be this 1000. So now how it is going to work, this to take object of state, this thing. So now what we are telling it, just run this method. So what we are telling it to do, after 10 seconds start this timer, run this method on an interval of 1 second. So now what it will do, let's say initially it will work, then let's say somehow we are doing some complex operation, some operation which takes time. Then what it will do, let's say when it was doing work from first second, there will be second set second, then there will be third second, fourth second, then all these seconds are going to come here always, and they will try to do the operations. So we should handle those cases differently. Then we have periodic timer, what it will do. So in this case we will directly know that if it came here this time, the current, let's say this is getting confused, but let's say private int, let's say elapsed seconds, something like this. Initially it is 0. Now we will be sure that we can have it here like this. And then what we can do, we can say current display time equals this total minutes minus this second. So total minutes multiplied by 60, this is going to be total seconds, and from this we can say elapsed seconds, it will be the current display time. This is current display minutes, we could say. Then we can compute this thing, but now it can take some time, what I told you. So this is not a good fit for us. Periodic timer is actually a good fit for us. Here what we will do, we will use the current date time. We'll use current date time to find the difference. So this approach we are going to use. So we are not going to use this timer, I just gave a brief overview. So here we are going to have this periodic timer, which we can have outside. So we'll say private periodic timer underscore periodic timer. Then here we'll say periodic timer inside its own initialized periodic timer equals new periodic timer. In here we just need to define the period. So here we'll say time span dot from second 1. We are asking it to just run on an interval of 1 second. That's all. Then we'll have one method here, private async task, and here we'll say uh, handle timer, something like this. And here what we can have a while periodic timer dot wait for next tick async. And here we will have our logic, and we need to await it. Okay. Now at the very end, when this everything is done inside this, we need to dispose this periodic timer. For this, on this component, what we'll do, we'll say this component implements iDisposable, and then we can have the dispose method here, public void dispose. Inside this, we first check if this periodic timer is not null. Then we'll say periodic timer dot, we have this dispose method. All right. So looks like we are good. Now, because we need our logic here, we will get the time difference. So we need to have some initial time and then current time. So current time we can have using datetime.now only. But the initial time that we will have here. Here we'll say private datetime underscore, we'll say initial time. So this initial time will come in this on initialize async after setting this total display time. Here we'll say initial time equals datetime dot now dot add minutes, and here we'll add this total minutes. So this is going to be the, or not initial time, let's call it total time. Total time. Okay, so this is total time. Now we are here. Here what we can do, we can simply say total time minus datetime dot now. If, or we can have the difference here. So this diff is time span, and here we can check if this diff is less than time span dot 0, or let's say less than equals. Here the timer should stop. Timer should stop, and it should notify the consumer that timer has elapsed. So for this we are going to have one more property here. So public event callback. Here we'll say timer on timer stop, something like this. This is going to be parameter. If from here timer should stop here, so we'll say underscore periodic timer dot, let's see what we can call here. Can we call something here? I don't know how to stop this. Maybe just dispose this, then just set periodic timer to null explicitly, then just raise that on timer stop dot invoke. What happened? On timer stop dot invoke async. Just do this. Periodic timer, this should be nullable because we are already checking for null. And here it should not be null because we are setting it here. After this thing on initialize, so let's do this. We should directly call this handle timer async. I'm not awaiting this. We don't need to. And using this, I guess we are good. Now we have this if it came here after this, we'll directly return from here. We will not do anything further. If that's not the case, we need to show the current updated display time. So we don't need this left second now. We'll have this current display time, which we should get from this diff. We'll say what I did build cancel. All right. Here we'll say current display time equals if dot total minutes or just minutes, total minutes, gets the value of the current time span structure expressed in whole and fractional minutes. We should do something like this, total minutes, not total. We need to have that logic which will convert this to this format, minute and seconds. Maybe we need to do the math using total seconds, or let's try this. On this time span we can use toString, right? So we'll say diff dot toString, and for format we can say and ss, minutes and seconds, right? String format. Okay, it should work. Current display time is this, and we are checking if this is already elapsed. Then we'll simply say stop it and tell the parent that you should stop. Cool. Let's comment this line, this first one, and we'll just see if it is working. Then we'll see what else needs to be done. So here we need to provide total minutes, which will be at the rate, no need for at the rate, we'll say quiz state dot quiz dot total, sorry, time in minutes. And then on timer stop we should say auto submit quiz async, something like this. Let's create this method. So we'll say private async task auto submit quiz async. Let's put a breakpoint here, save everything. Let's start. Let's see if it is working. Okay, home, start. Okay, we have this thing, but it is not starting. 5 minutes, it didn't start. Console, is there any error? No, there is no error. Let's try to put a breakpoint and we'll see what is the error there. Is there any error or what? On initialized, we are here. Okay, let's start again. I have added these breakpoints. Let's see. Home, start quiz. Okay. And we need to handle this jet index as well, right? So we are here, total time display, this thing. We came here. And let's add this in dispose as well. We'll continue. It came here. Current display time. What happened? Unable to retrieve source control, source content. There is some error. This div.toString, is there any error with this one? If we go to output and here, there is no error. I can't see any error. Let's see if we have some error in this. No, no error, no error. And it is not going back to this. Wait for next take async. Hmm. Oh, this page is not responsive. It is unresponsive. There is some problem with this thing. We can't have this two string, this format. Is this throwing format exception? And SS. Hmm. Can we generate date time from time span? New date time, long ticks, date only, date, time, int, year, month. Hmm. MMSS. These are correct, right? Or am I missing something? Is this some basic problem or what? Let's do this. Have try catch and we'll see what is the error here. EX start, remove these breakpoints. We just need this one. We know this comes to this EX. Okay, home, start quiz. We need to fix this Z indexing as well. Continue, start, and we are here. It shows input string was not in correct format. Format exception. There is not much detail. This format should be correct. Let me quickly see. Do let me know in the comment if you guys know what is happening here. Why can't we do this? Or we? I think we should be able to do this. There might be some small missing piece. All right. So I did a quick research and I found out the problem is this colon. So right now this is not considering this. So this is because of this colon. If we have this, it will work. If we want to have this, we need to escape this. So let's have this slash. Single slash will not work, double slash. So we are just escaping this. Then it should work now. So now if I start this, let's remove the breakpoints. Start it. And now we should be able to see the output what we want to see. Let's quickly verify. Home, start, okay, still not. Let's go back and see. I just saw that this should fix the problem. Let's restart this. Start, okay. Breakpoint didn't hit this time. Oh my god, debugging this is. Okay, let's start again. Home, start quiz. Okay, we are here. We can see this 456. After this, is not updating. Okay, I got it, why it is not updating. Now I want you to pause the video and think about it, why it is not updating. Looks like there is no error. And if I put breakpoint here, it should get hit. You see, if I continue, it should get hit on an interval of 1 second. But it is not updating anything. Okay, pause the video, drop a comment, and then we'll see. Alright, so the thing here is, it is coming here, we are modifying this thing, but because this is a timer callback kind of thing, this is from this on initialized, we are calling it without awaiting. So this is actually after await also. If we have multiple awaits in one method, it simply re-renders for the uh, first cycle. It does not re-render for all the cycles. For that, if we have some method which is kind of outside of the current components context, or we have multiple level of awaits, we need to explicitly tell Blazor to re-render the component. We need to explicitly tell it that something has changed. For this, I'm going to just stop it, and after this current display time, we'll say state has changed. We'll tell it explicitly that something has changed. And here, because this is actually from some other thread, so we will say invoke async and just state has changed. Oh wait, save it, and now we should be good. Let's disable all the breakpoints or delete all the breakpoints and start. This should work as we are expecting it to work. Okay, and you see 57, 56, 55, because this was total time was 5 minutes and it is working. All right, cool. Now with this, what we can do, we can maybe have this thing in here somewhere in this right side, where so on left section we have one out of two questions, and then on the right side we will have this timer, and then we need to have that thing also, that changing the color of this whenever uh, the time is, let's say, less than 1 minute, then we'll have that. Do this. So we have this diff here, and we can maybe have private string underscore text color class will have empty by default, and we'll come here on this span, we'll simply have this text color class rendered. On this label, let's say class fw bold, we want it to bold, and this thing, save it, we are good. And in this text color class, we'll modify it when we are here. Here we'll simply check if diff dot total seconds is less than equals to 60. Then we'll say text color equals text danger. We want it to be red if the time is less than 1 minute. Alright, let's see if it works. Text color. But for this, we need to have that time to be less than 1. But for now, let's do this. We can have this less than 4 minutes. Okay, because our default quiz, it has 5 minutes of time. So let's do this. So 4 minutes means 240 seconds, right? We'll modify it, but for now let's leave it like this only, or maybe we can say 4.5 minutes. So that means 270. Cool. And then on the quiz page, where we have that this at 6 count of this 5 of 6. Let's have hard coded text questions for this just this only. Before that, what we'll do here, we'll have a div class, we'll have my1 to some space, then display flex, justify content between, align items center to vertically align the items. Then first we'll have this h6 and then we are going to have our timer. Save it and let's wrap this timer inside something. Let's say maybe in div. Save it. Let's start. Home, start quiz. Okay. 5 4, you see this thing on the right side. When it will go to the 30 seconds 0430, then it should turn to red, this initial section. Okay, these things are working. Save and next. Will not submit this quiz. Let's wait for this to turn into red color. And it, yes, it turned into red. You see? So we are good. That means this functionality is also working. We have this 2 out of 2 questions, all these things, submit quiz. We have this validation. So looks like everything is working here. All right. So I guess we are good with this page as well. This was the most interactive and most fun page to work with. This was the best page, I guess. The UI is fine. Everything is working. We are good with this thing now. Let's see if this auto submit is the next thing we'll work on. Or this time, let's do this. In quiz timer, first let's fix this thing. So it should not be 270. We want it to be less than equals 60 seconds. Then second thing, what we'll do for this total minutes, we will modify this just for testing. We'll have it, let's say 1 minute only, so that we can see that auto submit functionality is working. It comes here and it does all these things. It stops the timer, calls that on timer stop method, and we are here with auto submit quiz async. For here, let me do this. Let me do app state dot show loader auto submitting the quiz. Then I'm going to have await task dot delay. Let's say 5 seconds of delay here. Then I'll say app state dot hide loader, and then I'll say it direct to my quizzes. Save everything. Let's start it. It should auto submit after this 1 minute because we are having that 1 minute. Home, start quiz. Okay. 5857. We'll see. We are on this second page. Second question. I'm not submitting it. So let's wait. Well, at 8 seconds. And one more thing which I was thinking, maybe we should not have this left navbar on this page. 2 seconds, 1 second, 00, auto submitting the quiz. You see on 00, the timer stopped here and we have this that auto submit and then it came back to my quiz. That means auto submit functionality is also working. Let's remove this total minutes from here now. We don't need that condition now. Here we are good with auto submit quiz async. In this also, let's quickly do the thing which we are doing in maybe submitting the quiz or maybe exiting the quiz. No, not, yeah, let's do the thing which we are doing on this exit quiz. We'll do something similar on this auto submit. The message would be this auto submitting the quiz. This should be auto submit quiz async. Error message redirect to my quiz abstract.hide loader, and we are good with all these things. So now this page is also done. After setting this, we are directly redirecting to my quiz, or maybe we can do something similar which we are doing in submit quiz. Where is submit quiz? This thing here also. Let me have this thing. Uh, where is that auto submit? Auto submit. So instead of this, we'll say this quiz submitted successfully. Save it. So we are good with our quiz page. So every functional, each and everything is working on this screen. All these buttons, timer, saving, fetching the next question, auto submitting, everything is working. All right, so we are good with this page as well. Now we don't need this section here. We can remove this. Cool.